Welcome to my channel briefing on Bravo. Summer House star Paige DeSorbo is sharing how an abusive romance destroyed her and her future relationships. She just ended a 3-year relationship with Southern Charm star Craig Conover. Now, she is opening up about the love that started it all and led her down a dangerous path. Keep reading for further details. Summer House viewers have watched Paige DeSorbo evolve as a woman and a reality star. She went on to be a cast member on the spin-off Winter House. Then she began dating Southern Charm hottie Craig Conover. They have had a sweet love affair for 3 years, but there was always some trouble in paradise. She was based in New York City, whereas Craig had his life in Charleston. He was building a home for himself and Paige, as well as their future family, but she couldn't care less. She was never going to move, and he had an amazing business that would keep him in Charleston. Fans felt they had no chance, and though they may be cute together, they were beating a dead horse. Then, it just came out that they had split. It looked like they might be getting engaged despite the distance, but that did not happen, and fans were not surprised. They were sad by this, as breakups are tough, but still not surprised. As she divulged her split, Paige also opened up about her past relationships. According to Us Weekly, the Giggly Squad co-host shared that she was in an abusive relationship at 19. "I probably got my most insecure when I was 19 or 20. I dated a really physically and mentally abusive man, and it changed my whole course of dating in my 20s. I don't even know if I've ever even said that on the pod that I was in an abusive relationship before, but I feel like if I'm going to say it, this is the episode I would say it because I know for a fact a ton of other girls have been in them too." Paige, 32, explained this romance caused her to see chaos in her future relationships. There was not much stability in what she found and who she was with, so it destroyed her and her relationships. As for how she learned to feel about the abusive situation, she is not ashamed of what happened. Paige DeSorbo noted that she has been able to open up and help others, which has been a gift. More so, she is proud of how she handled the situation, so all of that combined leaves little room for shame. The Craig factor: for years, Paige DeSorbo was not dating the most stable guys. However, all of that changed when she and Craig Conover met. They were introduced through the Bravoverse, but really got to know one another on Winter House. "When I got out of my previous relationship and I was single and I met Craig, I was like, I finally figured it out. I'm gonna be with someone that loves the out of me. This is all happening the way it's supposed to be." Fans of the couple will still get to watch Paige and Craig on their respective shows. It may become a slight storyline at the end of the Summer House season, as that has not started to air yet. Other than that, it will only be addressed at the reunions. Fans have said they think Craig will be married with a baby on the way by next year. The same cannot be said for Paige, who seems to still be searching. Do you think Paige was not ready for a stable and chaos-free relationship, or were they not on the same page? Paige DeSorbo shares how an abusive romance destroyed her. A journey of healing and self-discovery. Reality TV star Paige DeSorbo is known for her role in Summer House and Winter House, where fans have watched her evolve as both a person and a public figure. From lighthearted fun with her friends to complex emotional growth, DeSorbo has always been an open book, offering glimpses into her personal life. Recently, in an emotional revelation, Paige shared an experience from her past that deeply affected her future relationships, an abusive romance that changed the course of her dating life. As she continues to navigate life after a breakup with Craig Conover, her openness about this painful chapter sheds light on the lasting effects of toxic love and the road to healing. A traumatic start to love. At the age of 19, Paige DeSorbo found herself in a relationship that, in her own words, was physically and mentally abusive. In a candid moment during an interview, Paige revealed the significant toll this relationship took on her sense of self-worth and her perspective on love. She explained, I probably got my most insecure when I was 19 or 20. I dated a really physically and mentally abusive man, and it changed my whole course of dating in my 20s. While many women may shy away from talking about such painful experiences, Paige chose to share her story, understanding that countless others could relate. The scars of her past relationship weren't just emotional. They fundamentally reshaped how she viewed future romances. At such a young age, the brutal treatment she endured planted seeds of insecurity that would take years to untangle. As she grew older, Paige confessed that the trauma from her abusive relationship led her to seek out chaotic dynamics in future relationships. Her craving for instability mirrored the emotional turmoil she had once felt, creating a cycle that was hard to break. I don't even know if I've ever even said that on the pod that I was in an abusive relationship before, but I feel like if I'm going to say it, this is the episode I would say it because I know for a fact a ton of other girls have been in them too, she noted. Opening up about the abuse wasn't just a form of personal catharsis for Paige, it was also a way to help others. By sharing her experience, Paige turned a painful memory into a platform for empowerment. She noted that despite the agony she went through, she no longer felt ashamed of her past. In fact, she felt proud of how she navigated the difficult situation, as her journey toward healing had ultimately given her the strength to help others facing similar struggles. The quest for stability. Enter Craig Conover. For years, Paige seemed to gravitate toward relationships that lacked stability. But her romance with Craig Conover, star of Southern Charm, was a turning point. The pair were introduced through the interconnected world of Bravo's reality TV universe, but it wasn't until Winter House that they really began to explore their connection. After exiting a difficult relationship, Paige found solace in Craig's steady, affectionate nature. When I got out of my previous relationship and I was single and I met Craig, I was like, I finally figured it out. I'm gonna be with someone that loves the out of me. This is all happening the way it's supposed to be, Paige shared. For the first time in a long while, Paige felt loved and appreciated in a way that seemed genuine. Craig, known for his easygoing demeanor and unrelenting support for Paige, appeared to be everything she had been searching for. It was a relationship that promised stability, warmth, and mutual respect, qualities that had previously eluded her. For a time, it seemed as though their connection might break the cycle of chaos that had defined her past. However, despite the intense connection they shared, their relationship ultimately didn't survive. Paige and Craig recently announced their breakup after 3 years together. The decision to part ways came as a surprise to many fans, especially given their undeniable chemistry on screen and their seeming plans for the future. Despite this, the breakup wasn't a shocking twist for those who had closely followed their story. The couple's distance, Paige living in New York City and Craig based in Charleston, was a persistent challenge that never seemed to have a clear resolution. Craig was deeply invested in his life in Charleston, including building a home for the couple, while Paige made it clear that New York City was her home base, leaving the future of their relationship in a state of limbo. Their breakup wasn't the result of a lack of love. Rather, it stemmed from the realization that they were on different paths, one that Paige wasn't willing to deviate from. In many ways, their split was the natural culmination of their struggles to reconcile differing lifestyles and goals. Moving forward, from chaos to healing. Though the breakup marks the end of a chapter with Craig, it is not the end of Paige's journey. Over the years, she has learned valuable lessons about self-worth, independence, and the importance of emotional healing. Her struggles in relationships were never about a lack of love, but rather an inability to recognize her own value and the worthiness of stable, fulfilling connections. The journey from the abusive relationship in her youth to the dissolution of her relationship with Craig has allowed Paige to look inward and explore who she truly is. As she has grown, so too has her understanding of what it takes to build healthy, lasting relationships. For Paige, Healing isn't just about finding someone who loves her, it's about learning to love herself first. Paige's experience also speaks to the broader issue of toxic relationships and the lasting impact they can have on one's ability to trust and form healthy connections. It's not just a personal battle, it's a collective one. Her vulnerability in sharing her story encourages other women to examine their own relationships, to break free from unhealthy patterns, and to embrace healing. Come back to Briefing on Bravo and see more news.